Good evening. Welcome to Election Night 2020. Tonight we have the incumbent president, Donald Trump, running against the most popular senator from the state of Vermont, Bernie Sanders. It is now time for the 7 p.m. poll closings. Out of the state of Vermont, Bernie Sanders is the projected winner of their 3 electoral votes, his home state here. Out of the state of South Carolina, Donald Trump will carry their 9 electoral votes. Out of the state of Georgia, it is too close to call. Bernie Sanders is in the lead, 16 electoral votes. Out of the state of Indiana, this is interesting, too close to call. Mike Pence's home state, 11 electoral votes, too close to call. Bernie Sanders is behind Donald Trump. Out of the state of Kentucky, this is interestingly too early to call. We do not have enough information to make a clear projection for either candidate. Right now, Donald Trump is leading by around 19%, 8 electoral votes at stake. And out of the state of Virginia, it is too close to call. Donald Trump has a small lead with 3% reporting. And on the current electoral map, Bernie Sanders has 3 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 9. It is now 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We can now make projections. Out of the state of Kentucky, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 8 electoral votes. Out of the state of Indiana, Donald Trump is also the projected winner of Mike Pence's home state's 11 electoral votes. Now out of the state of West Virginia, Donald Trump is the projected winner, much closer than in 2016. However, Donald Trump is still the clear winner. Out of the state of Ohio, it is too close to call. Bernie Sanders has a lead of around 3%. And out of the state of North Carolina, it is too close to call. Bernie Sanders is in the lead, 15 electoral votes at stake. And on the current electoral map, Donald Trump is in the lead with 33 electoral votes to Bernie Sanders' 3. It is now 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and stand by for many major projections. Out of the state of Tennessee, the volunteer state, Donald Trump the projected winner of their 11 electoral votes. In the state of Alabama, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 9 electoral votes, no surprise here. Out of the state of Oklahoma, 7 electoral votes will go to Donald Trump, closer than in 2016. Out of the state of Mississippi, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 6 electoral votes. Out of the state of Missouri, 10 electoral votes, as expected, will go to Donald Trump. Out of the state of Illinois, Bernie Sanders is the projected winner of their 20 electoral votes. Out of the state of Maryland, no surprise here, the most Democratic state in the Union, Bernie Sanders is the projected winner. Out of the state of Delaware, 3 electoral votes will go to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders will also pick up New Jersey's 14 electoral votes, a decisive victory. Out of the state of Connecticut, no surprise, Bernie Sanders the projected winner. Out of the state of Rhode Island, Bernie Sanders will carry their 4 electoral votes. Now out of the state of Massachusetts, 11 electoral votes will go to Bernie Sanders. And out of the District of Columbia, the most liberal party of the United States, Bernie Sanders the projected winner of their 3 electoral votes. Out of the state of Maine, all 4 of their electoral votes will go to Bernie Sanders, a flip from 2016 in the 2nd Congressional District. Now out of the state of New Hampshire, Bernie Sanders is the projected winner of their 4 electoral votes, a much earlier call than in 2016. And out of the state of Pennsylvania, a huge flip from the Trump column from 2016. Bernie Sanders is the projected winner of their 20 electoral votes. Now out of the state of Florida, it is too close to call. Bernie Sanders has a lead. And on the current electoral map, Bernie Sanders now taking the lead with 103 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 76. It is now 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the state of Arkansas. Out of the state of Arkansas, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 6 electoral votes. Now on the current electoral map, Donald Trump now has 82 electoral votes, and Bernie Sanders remains at 103. It is now 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and we can now make many major projections from all the states in yellow. Out of the state of Louisiana, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 8 electoral votes. Out of the state of Texas, 38 electoral votes will go to Donald Trump. Big win for the Trump campaign. Out of the state of Kansas, 6 electoral votes will go to Donald Trump. Out of the state of Nebraska, this is interesting, 4 out of their 5 electoral votes will go to Donald Trump. However, the 2nd Congressional District we will now make a projection for in just a moment. As for right now, Donald Trump is the projected winner of 4 out of 5 electoral votes from the state of Nebraska. Out of the state of South Dakota, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 3 electoral votes. Out of the state of North Dakota, Donald Trump will carry their 3 electoral votes. Now out of the state of Wyoming, the state that overwhelmingly voted for him by over 30% in 2016, Donald Trump the projected winner of their 3 electoral votes. Now out of the state of New York, Bernie Sanders is the projected winner of their 29 electoral votes. Out of the state of Nebraska, 1 out of their 5 electoral votes will go to Bernie Sanders. From the 2nd Congressional District, we have enough information to characterize this race as flipping to the Democratic column from 2016. Out of the state of New Mexico, Bernie Sanders is the projected winner of their 5 electoral votes. Out of the state of Michigan, Bernie Sanders will carry their 16 electoral votes in a huge flip from 2016. Donald Trump's approval rating in the high 20s here. Out of the state of Minnesota, Bernie Sanders is the projected winner of their 10 electoral votes. Out of the state of Colorado, no surprise, Bernie Sanders, the projected winner. He made a huge rally here on the weed stance that he had, 9 electoral votes. Out of the state of Wisconsin, another flip from 2016. Bernie Sanders, the projected winner. Call that poll closing calling time. And out of the state of Virginia, no surprise here. Remember, Hillary Clinton took the state in 2016. Bernie Sanders will overcome Donald Trump with taking their 13 electoral votes. Now in the state of Arizona, it is too close to call. Donald Trump is in the lead of around 4%. And on the current electoral map, Bernie Sanders is in a lead of 196 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 147. It is now 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and we can now make projections from all the states in yellow. Out of the state of Montana, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 3 electoral votes. Out of the state of Nevada, Bernie Sanders will pick up their 6 electoral votes, a much earlier call than in 2016. Now in the state of Iowa, we are now projecting this race as too close to call. A huge Trump state from 2016, Donald Trump ahead. Out of the state of Utah, it is also interestingly too close to call. Donald Trump has a 20% lead. If you're wondering why this is too close to call, it is because Bernie Sanders is overwhelmingly outdoing Hillary Clinton's support, and there are no third-party candidates. We still have some Democratic counties out. However, Donald Trump has a 20% lead. And on the current electoral map, Bernie Sanders has 202 electoral votes, now breaking the 200 barrier, to Donald Trump's 150. It is now 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and we can now make a projection out of all the states in yellow. Out of the state of California, Bernie Sanders is the projected winner of their 55 electoral votes, a huge win for the Vermont senator. Out of the state of Oregon, 7 electoral votes will go to Bernie Sanders. Out of the state of Washington, 12 electoral votes will land in the Bernie Sanders column tonight. Now out of the state of Hawaii, Bernie Sanders is the projected winner of their 4 electoral votes. Out of the state of Idaho, Donald Trump will carry their 4 electoral votes. And on the current electoral map, Bernie Sanders has now surpassed the 270 needed at 280 electoral votes, which now means that Bernie Sanders will become the next president of the United States. Bernie Sanders has won the presidency of the United States by surpassing the 270 needed. By our projections, Bernie Sanders will be the 46th president of the United States. And you can see on the electoral map with a recap, Bernie Sanders has 280 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 154. Donald Trump's pathway to being re-elected has been foreclosed by these calls on the West Coast, and Bernie Sanders will go on to be the 46th president of the United States. It is now 12:15 a.m. Eastern Time, and we can now make state calls out of all the states you see on your screen now. Out of the state of Florida, Bernie Sanders will take their 29 electoral votes, a huge flip from 2016. Out of the state of North Carolina, Bernie Sanders is the projected winner of their 15 electoral votes. Out of the state of Georgia, Bernie Sanders will carry their 16 electoral votes, another huge flip. Not expected to flip, however, Bernie Sanders will carry their 16 electoral votes, a decisive victory. Now in the state of Utah, Donald Trump is projected winner of their 6 electoral votes by a margin of around 5%. Very, very close. And on the current electoral map, Bernie Sanders now has 350 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 160. It is now 1 a.m. Eastern Time. We can now make state calls out of Arizona and Iowa and the state of Alaska. Out of the state of Alaska, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 3 electoral votes. And now out of the state of Iowa, another huge flip for Bernie Sanders. 6 electoral votes will land in the Sanders column tonight. Now out of the state of Arizona, 11 electoral votes will go to Bernie Sanders, another huge flip. Remember, he was rallying with Tulsi Gabbard to bring out the Latino vote here 2 weeks ago. Bernie Sanders' push in Arizona will win in the state. And on the final electoral map, Bernie Sanders takes 375 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 163. Thank you guys for watching this video. And I wanted to give out a huge shout out to Robert's Political Channel for this theme. This CNN theme is one of by far my most favorite theme that I've ever used, and he created it, so I really wanted to give a huge shout out to him. Go subscribe to him, his link will be in the description below. And thank you guys for watching this video in general. If you want to contact me personally, talk to me on Twitter at LTE Updates. My Patreon is patreon.com/LTE. Upcoming, I have more viewer suggestions and comment notification squad if you're early to my videos. As for my previous videos, click on the left to watch my most recent election night, subscribe in the center, of course, for more content like this, and click on the right to watch my most popular election night of Donald Trump versus Bernie Sanders, previous before I made this video. And again, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you all tomorrow.